How's it going, everyone? This is your co-host, Dervin, with Synonyms This Out.
And this is your second co-host, Tony, and we have Genesis. How's it going, Genesis?
It's going good. How you guys doing?
We're doing extremely well. I'm very excited to have you in the show today.
Yeah, I'm
definitely a
excited.
pleasure.
Likewise. Excited to be here.
Awesome. So Genesis is the co-founder and CEO. I guess you and your dad started your organization, Lorenzo's Frozen Puddings. Haven't got the opportunity to try it yet, but I heard really good things in regards to the reviews. But could you tell us a little bit about how this business all started?
Yeah, the company is named Lorenzo's Frozen Pudding. And like you said, it's named after my father, Lorenzo. He started in 2011 and making banana pudding in the house and selling on the streets of Chicago. And he did it to bring in income for his family. And I was away at college at this time. And I graduated a couple months later, and I came home and we did it together.
All right. And it sounded like from the articles I've read that this business was originated where you guys were selling these products in your car. And then recently you got a major deal with Walgreens where you're now in stores and multiple of the stores. So can you tell us how that transition kind of worked and the hardships to getting to the stores? Like, what was that all about?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long journey, We started in 2011, making it in our house, and then was selling it on the streets of Chicago out of my trunk of the car. And that was really fun. I mean, those were one of the fun times, that's entrepreneurs, right? It's just going out there, making something and like seeing in real time reactions to what you've done and people loving it and continue to sell out on the streets daily. So we wanted to go into retail spaces. About a year or so later, after we continue to sell out, we wanted to go into retail. And the idea is, how do we take our banana pudding product, our recipe, the homemade recipe, from here to being in retail stores? And as you all may know, have heard of banana pudding, it has like a shelf life of 5 to 7 days. Once you make it, you have a few days, you have a week until it expires. So we experimented and we made it frozen, and that was it. That was our moment. And I knew, for me personally, just coming out of college and where my father is at, I knew that it'll be me taking on the company. So I decided to name it Lorenzo's Frozen Pudding. So we can always have that. We can always have it tied back to him because, he started, and, I wanted to pay homage to that and keep our legacy growing. And
so was the recipe originated from your dad, or was it his mom's? Like, where did that come from?
It was a family recipe. It was actually, my father was working with an uncle of mine, and like the story goes, they couldn't get along. They had to part ways.
Okay.
It's like somebody see it one way on how to do the business, somebody see it a different way. And so they parted ways, and that's when he started making it by himself in his house. And and my father's always been an entrepreneur in his entire life. He's an Army vet, and then he went on to truck driving, but he's always made stuff, and he always wanted to sell something. So when I was in college, I always knew that, he always made up different things and whatnot. And this was my way to actually back that, whatever he wanted to do. So, and I seen that as an easy route to do it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have, out of curiosity, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 3 older brothers and 2 younger sisters.
Is like the whole family involved in the family business, or kind of, I guess, is it just you kind of spearheading things, or?
Yeah, it's just me, and you get that in families. I'm from the Leclerc Courts, which is a project in Chicago or whatever. But honestly, if I wasn't from there or anywhere, it's only so few of us that's going to really see something and want to take it to the next level, and we'll endure those times of doing it. So many of not just us that look like me, but everybody, we want instant gratification, and we want, we want it now, and things don't come right away. We have to endure, and that's really hard. It's really hard for people to do.
So what did you see besides, what did you see that your other siblings didn't see about the business? Like, why did you think it had the legs to go the distance that it's gone now? And as you think about that question, I did read that you had to start over the business 3 times. So what happened the first time, the second time, and then I guess because of COVID, you had to re-engineer it again. So kind of walk us through those scenarios.
Man, that was like 12 questions in one.
I know. I feel like they all match up. So the first one was, what did you see that your siblings didn't see about the business? So why did you think it had the legs to go tomorrow?
I just think everybody, we're all entrepreneurs and we all have something in us. And my degree is in psychology and I love being an entrepreneur. My first entrepreneur endeavor was in 3rd grade, and then I continued throughout my entire life. You
need to tell us a little bit about 3rd grade. What were you doing in 3rd grade? We want to know the backstory.
Grade, my parents had newly divorced and was separated, and I loved reading. I loved books. So in 3rd grade, I used to tutor my peers in my class. I charged $10 an hour.
Holy shit! I love it. I love it.
I'm extremely impressed that you remember 3rd grade that clearly.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
She was making money. That's why she was making money. Of course, you remember that.
And it was, obviously my parents divorced at that time, so there was a lot going on. And a way for me to escape was honestly just to tutor and read books.
That's cool. That's cool. All right.
So I noticed on the website that there's a few other flavors. Is Schnucka a family member? Or what's the story behind that name for this company?
Schnucka is my niece. She was actually born in 2011. So when the company was born, May 2011, she was born August, and she would help out as much as she can, being the toddler person she was growing through. And, I named the Schnucka Strawberry because she's so sweet. And I also, she was fun to be around. I fire her every single day. She always come back. So it was nice.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what happened the first time you had to restart the business. Like, what was the roadblock? What was the learnings that you got from that? Because I'm sure everyone that's listening that's starting your own business could probably, really learn from if it was a mistake or why you did that process.
Yeah, for me, coming from where I'm from, my father was from the Robert Taylors, in Chicago and other projects. I'm from LeClaire Courts, and starting off with me and my background, I don't know a lot of people in business. My father doesn't. We don't have different people throughout the city or different people that we would know, different banks and different things like that. So that's honestly the hardest thing for us. People that may look like me and is in these from these situations like I'm from. You don't know a lot of people that's not where we're from, and it's just really hard doing that. But the hardest thing for my business, so we went into business. We went into about 9 stores, our first launch in 2013. And my father and I, we were making a product with our hands at a co-packing, at a shared kitchen where you go in, you make your products, whatever, and then we ship them out to, we would do our own distribution to those grocery stores, and we do our own demos and things like that. And honestly, the problem was we would sell out too quick. So as soon as we drop off, it's another order, like right then and there, because we're selling out products, which is great, but it's a lot of work. So thinking about that, we phased out in 2014. In 2015, we re-entered the stores, our second launch. And at this time, we had about 50 to 55 stores in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. And at that time, we went slightly into co-packing where somebody we'll get all our ingredients and somebody would make a product for us. And we moved into some distribution as well. And and once again, with the same problem, we would make sure our product is there in stores. We would do demos. And once again, we're selling out. And at this time, I realized my margins weren't where they need to be to have a complete supply chain. And you need that cash. You need capital to really take yourself up to the next level. because in my eyes on how I see things, and this is for anybody that's going into business, you have to be sure what you want before you go. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, my daddy and he wants to be a national brand. I say, no, let's be an international brand. So now my mind is there. So how do I get to be international? So during this third relaunch, my plans was to make sure I have a co-packer, which we do. We have several different arms of distribution. So we have regional, we have national distribution that we're working on. And there's a lot of things that goes along that way. I've also teamed up with a lot of businesses, people that help businesses in Chicago, as well as, my peers here in Chicago, because I've been around for 11 years now. So, just having that foundation of just calling somebody or emailing somebody next to somebody for something and just continue to network and build that network group up.
So did you do any like venture did you get any venture capitalism? Is that the right word?
Yeah, VC,
VC
yes.
VC funding, yes. Thank you.
I mean, there are a lot out here in Chicago. I haven't, as of yet. I'm actually looking into putting together an investor pitch deck currently, so I can be able to pitch to investors right now, because I am at that phase where I know my projections will be next year and 3 years to 5 years from now. So I'm definitely looking into that.
Gotcha.
One platform I would recommend looking into is called Republic. It's pretty interesting. This is not a paid ad. Republic essentially allows pretty much the everyday retail investor, so to speak, to get the same type of access as a VC, all in one mobile app. So essentially, from a user's perspective, you would sign on and go through the accredited investor process and things of those sorts. But essentially, your feed would consist of various different startup initiatives that are looking to raise funding. You can read about, their project, their business model, or how successful or how much revenue they've generated, things of those sorts, background on the founders, all of that. But it gives them, you can set a minimum
funding as well.
It's like
crowdfunding, essentially.
Yeah, it gives you access to like a broader group of people, and you can set a minimum investment anywhere like $1,000, $250 even, and it gives a lot of folks opportunity to invest, pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're trying to make sure we support everyone.
Yeah, cool. I like that. Thank you. I wrote that down. Republic. It is. You said it's online. It's not an app, right?
It is an app. Yes, you can sign on online, but it is an app as well.
It's an app. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I've used it personally for 3 different investment ventures. I don't know how many you've done, Dervin. So even though we're telling you about the product, we've actually utilized the product. So
I definitely use it when I see something that's pretty interesting. I definitely invest. The app does a good job of educating users on understanding that liquidity is long term and things of those sorts, and you're investing for the long term. But wow, if they are ever interested in ads on podcasts, they should absolutely mess with
get us.
Right.
for sure.
That was nice and detailed.
Yeah, for sure. So how is it running a business as a mother? I know running a business alone is probably super stressful, especially in the state where you are going from being more domestic or local to now trying to be more international and trying to get VCs. Like, how are you able to manage those two worlds?
You know what? I compartmentalize a lot. So I have 2 children that are school age, so they're in school. And then I have a daughter that's 3 months currently. So when my kids are at school, I'm working. My 3-month baby, she's fine because she naps. So I do work in between that time. And when they come home, I'm just mom. So there's I'm hardly on the phone. No emails, no nothing. Just cooking, eating, playing with the kids until they go to bed. Then I may do some work before I go to bed, or I may not. It just depends. Gotcha. And honestly, I don't stress myself out. If I can't do it, I can't do it. So
Do you set
That's
boundaries? It sounds like you set really good, strong boundaries.
Yeah, you have to, so you won't go insane, which
Gotcha.
kind of am.
But with the recent growth and the distribution model, it sounds like you've had to expand team wise and things of those sorts recently.
Yeah, it sounds like they don't it. I haven't. It's just me. 100%.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're doing a lot of outsourcing. So wouldn't that really cut into your like your profits margins a little bit?
So my business, my brand, I'm creating it to scale.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a lot to do with profit margin and who gets what. So that's not a big deal.
Got it. Okay. So what does I know you mentioned it, your 1 year projection, your 3-5 years. So what are you expecting from, I guess, where are you today from a sales perspective? If you don't mind sharing. If you don't, that's completely fine. But since you had mentioned that you kind of know these numbers and you are potentially going to be looking for VCs, like what does that look like?
So in a year, so honestly, okay, let's go back to us not having a relationship with like people that can actually give us access to capital. So for the past year, I've been on a hunt for access to capital because you need a lot in order to grow. Like a small business, in order to get over that hump, you really need like cash. You need a capital to get over there. And last year, I didn't do any sales. So I don't have any. I can't go into any like banks, that's like, because every bank wants at least like 2-3 years of history. I don't have that. I only have just about a month or so ago of history, So obviously my capital has to be non-traditional. So that's why I'm going into, different forms of ways of getting access to capital currently. But within a year, currently we have 67 locations in Walgreens in Chicago. And by the end of this year, we'll have 92 to 100 stores in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. So within a year, with what I did, with what I'm doing now and on pace, and my events that happened in July this year, which was Lollapalooza. I'm not sure if you've heard Lollapalooza before. It's a huge
Oh,
Chicago.
very familiar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we sold out at that event, and we had different people been writing about us, different things. So within a year, this time next year, we would have made at least 250,000 in sales.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's just finding the capital. Just making yourself very, putting yourself there. Making sure all my numbers are there and everything's ready, so I can be able to get the things that I need to grow.
Yeah, we absolutely need to clap that up. We absolutely need to clap that up. That is awesome. Congratulations.
That's awesome. So how did the Walgreens partnership come to life? Like how did that all come about?
Walgreens is really cool. So when I relaunched, I know a few players here in Chicago. One of them is the Women's Business Development Center, and they're national, federal empire or organization. And they called me. I was on the phone. I said, "Yo, I'm relaunching, and I need." And she was telling me they have this cohort called Top Shelf, which is basically Walgreens, nonprofit. Their cohort. Walgreens come on. They give you different type of tools. I think it was like a 6 or 12 week, 8 week. I don't remember. It was in 2020, but I was a part of the cohort with Walgreens and the Women's Business Development Center here in Chicago. And I pitched to Walgreens. They loved the product. And this was back when nobody was like in the office or anywhere. So all the Walgreens that, is in Illinois, they were just out of the office. So I used to go and meet them in the parking lot and give them samples of my product and whatnot. So
during COVID, right?
During COVID, it was very fun. It was really fun. And we just been nurturing our relationship since then. It's been really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any? So, I guess I'll stick to flavors because I'd imagine it's too soon to explore other things aside from pudding, right? But are there any like flavors to expect, like things that like you want to experiment with, or other brands you even want to collaborate with, maybe?
Yeah. So when my father and I were on the street, we had over 13 flavors.
Oh.
And we narrowed it down to those three just because, banana obviously is banana pudding. Strawberry is a well-known national flavor of America, and pineapple is not too far away from that. So we have those three. But back in the day, we had cookies and cream, we had chocolate, we had orange with pecan and caramel.
Oh.
We have eggnog. We have so many different type of flavors that we can do. And to be international is to say, hey, whatever your local fruit is, we can take your fruit and make a frozen pudding with that. So that's where I want to go.
So like a mango would be good. I love mango. I'm from Guyana, so that's like one of my favorite fruits. So that would be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely we can source. We like to, locally source there and give you like a taste there. Yeah.
You know where to get the best mangoes, Tony?
Where?
In Haiti.
I don't know about that one, but we'll see. When you come to visit and I go to visit your country, we'll see who had the better mango. Do you have an opinion when it comes to mangoes?
Say it again.
Do you have an opinion which country has the best mangoes?
You know what? I don't have an opinion. That's why I'm gonna have to go to both, to help like in this debate,
Yeah, that was a good answer.
That's a good answer.
I would have felt some type of way if you
So as you continue, if the success of the organization goes in the direction which I know it will go, what is the next evolution of your product or product line potentially, if things kind of work the way you foresee it?
Yeah, so we have the 8-ounce, which is it has the spoon underneath the lid, so it's a walk and go, which is it's just typical for Walgreens because it's a grab and go kind of option. You can walk around with it. The next a part of that family line would be a pint size to grow up, and have like a true pint. Because nowadays, I'm not sure if you guys know, but some of your people that you like that has pint size are not really pints, so they slacken over that. But we're coming out with actual true pint size.
I believe it.
Yeah, and the next flavor will be chocolate.
Awesome.
Okay, that's a good one. So how did you do official research on the flavors that you decided to land on, or was it based on like how your sales were going and you're like, all right, this always sells out, this always sells out? Like, how did you choose the three and then chocolate next?
We chose the three because kind of like sales. Chocolate is obviously a sale. Is like it will always be sold out because everybody loves chocolate. But when we started with the pudding brand, we want to have real fruit. We want to show that, hey, we have real fruit in our products, which it is. You have your bananas, you have your pineapple or your strawberry in that product. And it's very evident. And that's why the next product we come out with, it won't have like a technical fruit because it's chocolate, So I'm thinking of different ways to add or, add something into that.
Got it.
What would you say was the most challenging thing about being an entrepreneur right now in the state of the world?
There are not a lot of us in retail, and it's even fewer of us in the frozen category. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's hard. I would say that it's hard not seeing us there. It should be more of us, and we are very creative. We have a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of things that we have yet to explore in this nation. And CPG in a frozen section is one of those things.
Awesome. And have you been reached out to by like any other like locations to sell your product and things of those sorts? Are you allowed to engage with other places while you're distributing through? I believe you mentioned it was Walgreens.
Yeah, of course. I can sell to anybody.
You never know.
Sometimes you may have deals, like you may have an exclusive deal with like somebody for a few months. You know what I'm saying? After that, then. But no, I don't have an exclusive deal at all. And I'm going back into the local retail stores I was in previously. So yeah, and that will include Peace Fresh Market, Mariano's, Jewel Osco, and like just places here in Chicago before I expand nationally.
And I guess two-part question. I like asking multiple questions at the same time, as you already know. The first question is, what really differentiates your pudding from other puddings outside of just being a family recipe? And could you tell us a little bit about the packaging? Like, why that particular packaging? What does it mean to you or your family?
Yeah, so what differentiates me from like any other pudding is that we don't have preservatives in it. Like it's clean. It's a clean
Okay.
product. It's really clean. Like everybody else, they make it's not deli style. You won't catch it in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? And plop it on your plate. It's like it's a clean product that has its real fruits in there and still holds true to vanilla wafer. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's literally it in my product. So that's that. It's frozen. There's no other frozen pudding out there in America or in the world at all. So that's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
There has never been a banana pudding on the market, like you see it in the deli sections, the deli aisles, but it's not something you can pick up and you can take home and, put it away in your freezer, which is what you can do with ours.
Cool.
And our packaging comes from 35% recycled post packaging already. So that's
It's
also
environmental.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. So are you very mindful about these decisions in regards to like how you
Yes.
created the product, the packaging? Like, was this all mindful things in regards
Yes.
to the way you chose them?
Yes. Everything is very mindful. I mean, the third relaunch is, it's time for me to come out there and like actually make a mark. I've seen what my product can do. I've seen what my brand could do out in the market, and it's phenomenal, and to be able to have those same connections and go right back into those doors. I've been in like twice already. You won't hear that from anybody else. Once you're done with the store, they're not gonna put you back on the shelf. But for me, this is my third time. So that speaks about the brand that I have, the quality of the product, and my relationships that I keep.
Cool. Is there a particular state that you really have your eye on? Because I know when you talked about the 95 to 110 stores, you were talking about the Chicago area and the surrounding areas. Is there a particular state that that really loves pudding and you're like, I got to get in there and just really take this thing over? Or you're kind of more focused on the international expansion at the moment?
Oh, no. We're growing gradually. So international will come soon enough. But the next state I'll be going towards is Texas. So I'm not sure if you guys are in Texas, but.
Why Texas? Like New York is so close. It's so much closer.
I love New York. Don't get me wrong. But if you go anywhere down south and say anything about banana pudding, they know what banana pudding is.
Got it.
It's an easy sale. It's not like I have to explain, oh, banana pudding is this and it comes from this and it's made with this. It's like these people, like our people here in Chicago. If I go to somebody, that look like me, a sister or brother, they like, hey, I got some banana pudding. They taste it. It's banana pudding. You know what I'm saying? So if I go down south, and I say, yo, we got this banana pudding, and it's new, it's fresh, and I put it on the shelf, and it's easy, and plus,
all right.
I do have national distribution, so that's what I'm working on currently. I'm preparing for my next year, so Texas is going to be hit up.
All right. As you continue to expand and I continue to get my business acumen under my belt, I want the exclusive rights to sell your product in Guyana. So I want to be the only person bringing it into Guyana. So we're going to work on that. I got a couple connections, but we're going to work on it. Watch.
We can definitely do that. That'd be nice. And we can test the mango flavor while we're there.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I don't unfortunately have connections like that in Haiti right now, but we absolutely could eventually put that to the test. I'm actually putting in my orders for a strawberry and banana flavor right now. That's why my head is like. You know
what? You're not in Chicago, right?
I am not. I am in.
It's not going to get delivered? Oh, man.
I mean, so I could do special orders and deliver them, but when you ship frozen items, it comes at a price, and you just got to know that. So currently, this is another thing I'm doing. Have you ever heard of Lou Malnati's?
I've heard of
No,
a particular group, but I'm not sure which one you're
Illuminati.
referring to.
it's just a pizza place here in Chicago. Kind of,
Okay.
when you come to Chicago, you go to either, one of the other pizza places, and it's a deep dish, so they're a deep
Okay.
dish
Say
pizza
less.
place. They ship nationwide. So we're doing a partnership to where, I send them product and they can deliver. They ship the pizza and the desserts. We have dinner and dessert kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, they're shipping like cooked pizza nationwide, or they're shipping like a kit?
No, it's like a kid, like you just put it in the oven.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So it's already cooked, or where it is, and you just put it in the oven to warm it up. And
Yeah, I love pizza, so I love to hear that you're collabing and going that route. Actually,
yeah, I mean they're well known pizza place here in Chicago, and it's really cool to partner with them because essentially when you go to New York or you come to Chicago, there are different places you must go to when you go to New York.
They're staple, yep. Staple places,
exactly. Yep. And Lou Malnati is one of those places. And for me as a business, when you come to Chicago, I want everybody that comes here to want some Lorenzo's frozen pudding. So not only are you want to ship it nationwide, but you want to come and get your Lorenzo frozen pudding from Chicago too. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I'm creating that type of brand mentality for people.
Do you have a storefront? Do you have an actual physical store where people can kind of sit down, it's vibey, and just have it, or you don't have that at the current moment in time?
I don't have a store where you come and sit down and vibe or whatnot. But there are some things I've thought about to do, and different partnerships and pop-ups that we can do that I thought about for sure. It's just the brick and mortar is so much more than,
Overhead and everything else. Yeah, I get it.
I mean,
goes in brick and mortar.
it sounds like you're keeping it lightweight, and with over 250,000 in revenue in this amount of time, I think it's working. So
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I don't like being stationary. That's my only thing. Is I like, as you can tell, I'm at home.
It's great artwork. I thought they're like Picasso pieces. Great artwork.
Those are the kids, like I like being at home and working, and especially since I had a baby. Being a brick and mortar, like you said, overhead is insurance for the actual building, for the people that's want to work there, which I don't. When you hire people, they come in sick, or it's just a lot oversight with people itself. There's a lot that goes on with brick and mortar, and I'm not ready for that. So if I was to have one on the Mile in Michigan, it'll be a brick and mortar, and it'll be really something really, really cool.
So when you're locked in on the business in your day to day, or I guess juggling the business and responsibilities in regards to family as well, how do you block out the noise and stay focused?
I don't post a lot on social media. I like looking at funny memes and whatnot, but I don't like how social media is, and how I'm a graduate, so I graduated in psychology, and how that works on people's brain, and like if you want one thing, that's what you're going to see all day, every day on social media, and if you can get easily swayed, people are influenced by a lot, and I don't like that. I don't post myself that much on social media or my family. I just did today because I just had our anniversary was yesterday, but like it's a lot to get swept away by those things. So I do my work. I stay with my head down and what I have to do because it's a lot, because I'm the only person in business, and I tend to my kids and my family. That's pretty much it. I'm a family person, so I like my family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I think social media has its pros and cons, but I think there are a lot more cons that come with social media. So I think you're doing the right thing for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I love social media because it's great for business. It's great to engage with your customers, your clients, and like to actually interface with them is really, really cool. And that's the good part about it. You know what I'm saying? And talking to people and meeting you all. But, it's so easy. It's such a thin line to get swept up in it all,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Definitely way too thin for dopamine addiction.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right, but this was definitely a pleasure. We enjoyed having you on the show. We wish you the success. I am dead serious about getting your product to Guyana. I got the connects, I got the plugs. We gonna make this
Well, let's
happen.
talk.
But yes, wish you all the success, and thanks again for coming on the show. It's really appreciated.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and thank you for this reschedule. I'm sorry.
No,
worries
it's no
at
problem
all.
at all. No problem at all.